In my experience, way too many people associate food journaling or calorie and macronutrient tracking with a disordered and negative mindset about food. A lot of people automatically associate those people who do food tracking with having disordered patterns and mental thoughts about food, or that it would be a totally bad idea for they themselves to even start food tracking in general. Today, I want to give you 10 reasons why I think food tracking is literally for anyone and can benefit you mentally, physically, and emotionally. We're going to jump right into this and get into reason number 1. For me, when it comes to weight or aesthetic goals, this is the most accurate way to input how much food you are consuming throughout the day. This approach literally shows you how many calories and macronutrients you're intaking every day, so it's going to be much easier to pinpoint what's exactly going wrong and why you're not achieving your aesthetic or weight goals. This also brings us into tip number 2, which means it is probably the fastest method to do that. I was watching a podcast recently with BioLane or Lane Norton and the Huberman Lab. It was on the Huberman Lab podcast, and they're talking about if someone wants to lose weight and stay motivated, if they have a significant amount of weight to lose, should they lose it really fast? And the answer is really complicated because for a lot of people, you might assume losing it super fast is very unhealthy and unsustainable, and those things are very true. But in the beginning, it is highly, highly motivating for people to lose some amount of substantial weight in the beginning. It's not going to be forever, but if it takes about 2 months to lose 5 pounds for someone, that's going to be super unmotivating for anyone. Literally, if you have 10 pounds to lose or 50 pounds to lose, I think it's hard either way. But for all of us at the end of the day, and I really have learned this through working with so many clients, speed is of the utmost importance. So the less time we could spend going through all these different diets, the better, because we could take out a lot of guesswork, get you to see results faster, keep you motivated longer, and probably get you to your overall long-term goal a lot quicker and more sustainably. This third one is honestly the most important for me, and I've been trying to teach my clients that food tracking or like calorie tracking is really a way to get you out of that food restriction mindset and put you back into a food freedom mindset. It provides you with a ton of knowledge of exactly is in the foods that you're eating and really permits you to eat anything. And the caveat, and I always have to tell my clients this, is that though you have permission now, and I want to be clear that it's not somebody else giving you permission, it's not MyFitnessPal or Lose It or me giving you permission, it's you giving yourself permission, which is so empowering. Everything you do in life, you're really giving yourself the go-ahead, the green light to make that decision or to follow through with something. So when you see that you could eat a Pop-Tart in the morning and still reach your goals, you are undoing so much fucked up damage that's been done to us, saying that these foods are unhealthy, they're gonna eventually kill you, they're gonna make you super fat, or that's why you're fat to begin with. So it's really empowering to see that you could literally eat anything in moderation. I always tell my clients we want to eat mostly whole foods, meaning like 1 to 2 ingredients like eggs or chicken or broccoli, whatever it is. But it's so freeing to see that you could literally eat some sort of processed food and still lose weight or gain weight and not feel like a bag of shit. You know what I mean? So the point that I'm really trying to drive home with this is that most of us struggle with over-consuming in portion size. So having something like a food journal or a calorie count or a macronutrient count to kind of hold you in check on how much something you could eat could be still super freeing. Though it's a restriction in some way on portion size, I actually think that's super healthy for us because there are limits on everything in life. Food is definitely no exception to this rule, so that's why this really feels like the most important reason here for me. The fourth reason that I feel that this is truly for anyone is because it empowers you by making you understand what is actually in your food. Is it encouraging every single person to turn their food around, look at the food label, and look up every ingredient that's in there? Probably not. But the thing that it's doing is making you acknowledge that the food label even exists. So for many people, food tracking or food journaling in general just makes you more aware of what's actually in your food, and that is a super empowering feeling. And you never know where that might lead you in the future and how that might forever change your eating patterns in a healthy manner. Reason number 5, and I love this reason so much because it happens to me all the time, is that calorie tracking is not only meant to limit how much food that you eat. So it's not only a measure of, oh, you can only have this much per day. It also shows us how much of something we truly can be eating. So when you flip around your food and you look at the back and you look at the nutrition label and it says a serving size is blah, that doesn't always necessarily mean that you can only have 1 serving of something. So a serving size is different than a portion size for you. So it's so exciting when you see that you have like, say like 500 calories left and say you want like a PB&J sandwich and you have the perfect macros, you need a ton of fat, you need some protein and some carbs in there. there, and you can make yourself a bomb ass peanut butter and jelly sandwich with 2 servings of peanut butter. For me, this was a game changer. So it's really important to understand that a serving size is not necessarily a portion size, and calorie tracking could really show you how much more of something you actually could be eating. This kind of leads us into the discussion of the 6th reason why I think this is for everybody, and it comes down to fiber. Essentially, fiber has an abundance of health benefits and little to no downsides. So whether it be lowering cholesterol, improving your bowel movements and keeping your bowels healthy, or just helping you feel more satiated after a meal, which in turn can help you manage your weight over time, it's really important that we kind of micromanage our fiber intake. And without really tracking the foods that you're eating, it's super hard to do that. So if you're listening to this right now and you're kind of wondering how many grams of fiber should I be consuming, it's usually about 25 grams per 1,000 calories of consumption. So I would say for almost anyone, 25 to 50 or more grams of fiber per day is probably going to be really beneficial for you. Another benefit of food tracking is that it doesn't have to only be aesthetics based. It could also be used to enhance your performance and make you feel better just overall. Many of my clients, before they come to see me, have no idea how many calories, carbs, protein, and fat they're actually consuming. Typically with nutrition clients, I try to make things as easy as possible, and we focus mostly on calories and protein. And for almost every single client, once they get their protein levels higher and where they're supposed to be, they all tell me that they have less brain fog, they perform better in the gym, and that they feel so much more energized. The same could be said for calories and carbs. I mean, if you're going to the gym or you're just going through your day in general and you're severely underfed and you don't realize why you're feeling so lethargic all the time, just a simple bump in calories and getting you where you're supposed to be could really be a game changer. So I think it's really important to not only look at food tracking through the scope of like aesthetics, but also through performance and just like overall feeling more like yourself as many days as possible. For me, number 8 is one that I see all the time and I experience myself on a regular basis, because I feel like just in life in general, we don't have control over many things, obviously, except for yourself. I know you've probably heard that a million times, but it's the truth. You have control over essentially nothing but yourself. I think it starts at the most foundational level of like, if you can control what you're actually putting in your body and how much of it you're putting in your body, it is a super encouraging, empowering, and motivating feeling. I think a lot of people give up on their diets because they feel that they have gone too far to kind of reel it back in, that it's too far out of their control and they're too far gone. But that's not true. And food tracking really puts you back in control and gives you the power to be the one controlling what you're putting in your body, how much of it. Is this going to make me feel good? Does this have the macronutrients that I'm looking for? And it just allows people, like I said, going back to even point number 1, it's the most accurate way to track your food and to track your progress. And it's the quickest way to give yourself results. So all 3 of those things put together is just an overwhelmingly great feeling. And there's nothing better in this life than peace of mind. Reason number 9 is going back to the fact that food tracking is not only for losing or gaining weight. Sometimes it's simply just to maintain where you're at or to help people really identify which foods work for them and which foods don't. The 10th reason that I feel that food tracking is literally for everyone is because it sets you up to make really important micro decisions throughout the day about your own health, about your fitness, and your mental well-being. We look at our food choices as maybe like these overall big decisions throughout the day of like, what are we gonna eat? We spend maybe like hours thinking about it, but they're really these small little micro decisions that we make every single second about if we're hungry, if we're not hungry, what we're gonna eat. Is it gonna be more nutritious, less nutritious, processed, unprocessed, whatever it is. I think the point is that if you care about your health, you're gonna be thinking about food at a deeper level than maybe you even realize. And when you look at the day and you look back at all the little micro decisions, breakfast, lunch, dinner, your snacks, whatever it is, and you see how those little micro decisions that led you to a win overall for the day, it is such a phenomenal feeling. And it is like this little checkbox of like, yes, like I was successful in this today. Everything else totally went fucking to shit, but I feel so good about the decisions that I made today. And looking back, I made 10 healthy decisions and they set me up to feel so good about myself and to really feel like I'm in control, I'm empowered, and I care about myself. I think the biggest thing that I want people to take away from this video is that food tracking is not only reserved for the ultra lean. It is reserved for anyone who cares about themselves and their health and wants to see themselves thrive on an everyday basis. This is the first video of many of this nutrition series, and I really hope to see you guys on more videos in the future. If you liked this video and you took something from it, please like, comment below, or just subscribe to my channel if you're interested in seeing more content like this in the future. I really appreciate you guys watching this video and I love you guys so much.